evening, where our next conversation still on the floor of the Senate or the floor of the National Assembly. The Senate has said that, you know what, the president must stop allocating fund to caretaker committee chairman, right? Okay, so now this followed the adoption of a motion by Senator Suleiman Kawu NNPP Kanu on urgent call on the president to resuscitate local government system in Nigeria today. Now the challenges in fact, quoting him, he says the challenges we face: persistent security threats, rural urban migration, decaying infrastructure, and widespread unemployment demand bold action. And we believe that empowering local government areas holds the key to unblocking a brighter future for all Nigerians, he said. Now, moving the motion, Mr. Kawu said that the dream of achieving the objective of the local government system encountered harsh realities. So he said successive governments often eroded local autonomy, limiting their financial resources and control over decision making. You'd recall that just the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari ensured to create autonomy for the local government, even though some governors did oppose to that very strongly. But at the end of the day, it looked like that became a thing. But how has it been? How effective has it been? That's a question that a lot of people do not have answers to, because we still worry, or many still worry, about how effective it's been. Just recently, the local government chairman in Rivers State did complain about Governor Sim Fubara withholding their allocation. And this is the case, with a lot of other governors. Oh, remember the case of Ogun State the other time too, where a local government chairman had to kukuma resign or be sacked because of incidents like that. So that's exactly what our senators are asking for. Well, we do hope that happens. Then, following very quickly, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2023 general election, Atiku Abubakar, has cautioned the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to act strictly within the provision of the Pension Reform Act of 2024, PRA 2014 rather, along with the revised regulation on investment of pension assets issued by the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, and not fiddle with pension assets. Now, the former vice president disclosed this in a statement he personally signed on Wednesday and made available to newsmen. You recall that the finance minister and coordinating minister of economy, Wale Edu, had hinted on using 20 trillion naira, not be million, not billion, trillion naira, 20 trillion from the nation's pension funds and other funds to finance critical infrastructure projects across the country. Perhaps one of those may be the Lagos Calabar Coastal Railway. Okay, maybe not, but we are to borrow, or the government is saying they will borrow 20 trillion naira from pensioners' money. By the way, my pension fund should be part of that too, right? Should borrow 20 trillion naira from pension fund to finance critical infrastructure. And a lot of people are saying, what is going on here? So where then lies the fate of pensioners in the country? And that's exactly what the presidential candidate of the PDP is saying in this conversation. Let's not do this, because it won't be beneficial to the country. All right, let's move on very quickly before I call in my guests to join us on the conversations. All right, so just today, we did hear that Nigeria's headline inflation rate increased from 33.20% recorded in March to 33.69% in April. You know that April was when Nigeria's Naira was about one of the most performing currencies. And we're like, oh, the magic. In fact, the presidency and people in governance even said it, that that thing we did to ensure that we floated the Naira and all that is working. He's working so hard, and that's why we have that change. But then, alas, has it worked so well? Because right now, our currency is back to one of the worst performing, and it looks like that achievement was a very short-lived achievement. It didn't last for too long, right? So right now, we were even hoping that inflation would fare better in the month of April, because dollar came down, and we did hope that would have reacted or affected the price of so many stuff. But unfortunately, it never affected prices of things because inflation is higher. Now, the data represents a month-over-month increase of 0.49%, but points in the headline inflation rate, according to Consumer Price Index of the MBS, released by the MBS. Comparing year on year, the inflation rate in April 2024 was 11.47%. Bottom line, on inflation shall don't rise. Right, that's what it is. So let's hurry up and then get in our guest on the show. Well, as it's got to do with minimum wage, Nigerian Labour Congress is saying that, you know what, we're not doing again. How can federal government say that they're going to give us 48,000 naira for minimum wage? We cannot take that. So they're backing out. In fact, as a matter of fact, both NLC, TUC saying that we're not part of this negotiation for minimum wage anymore. We're backing out. You recall that organized labor had requested for 615,000 naira as minimum wage, but government is saying that this is not feasible. It's not something we can afford. So the proposition is at 48,000 naira, and the organized labor is saying they're not having it. The NLC really is saying they're not having it, and they're calling on Nigerians to bear with them, because this fight is for the good of Nigeria generally, and not just the NLC. But then we'll move on to crime fighting, as the EFCC have asked that people should just calm down. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission reiterates its commitment to conducting a thorough investigation into the corruption allegation against the Minister of State for Defense, Matawale. You'd recall that he had some issues with them, dare say, before he was appointed a minister. Now, the spokesman of the anti-graft agency, Dele Oyewole, made this statement on Wednesday during an interface in the EFCC headquarters in Abuja. So he said that they will take their time to study the Matawale's case, and of course they will do the needful. We'll move straight to the Labour Party, where the Labour Party National Chairman Julius Abure today Wednesday said that the party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi supported the party's national convention, contrary to what a lot of people said that he didn't. Now, despite the controversy that surrounded the national convention, Abure said Obi supported the event in one way or the other. This he said while he was addressing press conference in the party's headquarters in Abuja today. Well, let's quickly leave that and move on, because we're so much in a hurry to get in our guests in the conversation. And we'll go straight to what has got to do with Mohbad's death, as the autopsy conducted on the body of late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, aka Mohbad, is said to have been unable to ascertain the cause of his death. As a matter of fact, they said, well, the body was already decomposing, so the autopsy could not ascertain his cause of death. Bottom line, we'll not know who killed him, or whether a human being killed him, or maybe a natural death. We can't tell. That's what the autopsy means, right? And I also did tell you that the presidency is subsidizing the 2024 Hajj with 90 billion naira, while we are forced to cope with the price hike in tariff for electricity. So we're going to pilgrimage with a subsidization of 90 billion naira for the year 2024. How about if we use that 90 billion naira to subsidize any other thing that would have benefited the average Nigerian, or perhaps, since we're looking at religion now, the average Muslim, as this has got to do with Hajj? Wow, this is the news. And I can't give details of this because I don't have time for the details. But incidentally, this is as true as it comes, because Shesima made this known at the inauguration of the 2024 National Hajj operation held at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport, Benin, Kebbi State capital. He says, you may recall this year, we had a major challenge in announcing the final Hajj fare for the 2024 Muslims pilgrimage due to fluctuation of foreign exchange rates. President Bola Tinubu also worked around the clock to control the downward spiral of our local currency to bring to our pilgrims and other Nigerians. Bottom line, he says, he moved that eventually succeeded in lowering the fare. The president approved the release of 90 billion naira to subsidize the cost of pilgrimage for this year's Hajj. Interesting. All right, let's quickly just let you in on the last conversations just before we run off and get into calling our guests. Okay, so Lagos, you know what? Let's just press it there. This is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. Let me take a quick breather and I'll let my guests in. I have two guests waiting for me from Port Harcourt, River State, and we want to go straight to the issue that concerns River State. As 5 commissioners today, 5 of them today left the cabinet of Governor Siminalayi Fubara of River State, and it's a very worrisome case. 5 commissioners serving in the cabinet of Governor Sim Fubara have resigned from the State Executive Council. Lagos, that is what we'll be looking at. Immediately our guest jumps in on this conversation. Stay with us. This is 90.3 Voice of the People FM. We'll be right back.
From the views on the streets,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills 3 things and makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Listen to hot critical analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening.
Lagos, you are welcome back. It is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. Sincere apologies for that little heat. Let's get straight to the conversation around River State. So, 5 commissioners serving in the cabinet of Governor Siminalayi Fubara have resigned from the River State Executive Council. Now, the commissioners are Professor Chinedu Nom, he's the Education Commissioner, Dr. Gift Wallo Housing, Austin Ben Chioma, the Commissioner for Environment, Ineme Aguma is Social Welfare Commissioner, and Jacobson Mbina, he's the Transport Commissioner. They are all loyal to the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Now, they were among the 9 commissioners who had previously resigned in the half of the political crisis in the state before the intervention of the president. So they are resigning again, resigning again. Now, their resignation came 24 hours after Fubara slammed his predecessor and estranged his political godfather, accusing him of leaving a huge debt burden for the state. Well, there's quite a lengthy issue, perhaps giving the same reasons. Now, the 5 commissioners tendered their resignation in separate letters addressed to the governor through the secretary to the state governor, Dr. Tammy Danagogo. Mom's letter read, I write to formally tender my resignation as a member of the River State Executive Council as the Commissioner for Education with effect from May 25th. In fact, as a matter of fact, all of them are sitting about the same thing: toxic work environment, uncomfortable work environment. So I have joining me over the phone, Barrister Asim Adams. Barrister Asim Adams is barrister, he's a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer, and also have our own very own barrister Henry Ekine, whom I've been disturbing a lot recently, joining me over the phone too. Interestingly, Barrister Ekine is on transit, and I do hope that we can have a clear network. So let you run on this first, Barrister Sim. I don't know if you can hear me, but let me let you run on this first. 5 whole commissioners are leaving the governor at a time. What does this mean to the governor?
Thank you very much. Very well, my sister.
Thank you.
Yes. commissioners, apart from the Attorney General of the state, that is the only particular commissioner position that is recognized by the Constitution. The Attorney General of the state. Then any other commissioners.
So that would be the Commissioner for Justice, right?
Yeah, Commissioner of Justice, yes. That is the one that is recognized by the Constitution. All other commissioners are appointees of the governor. The governor or the state government can create ministry of any affairs. They can create any ministry they deem fit for the smooth running of the executive arm of government. And they are appointed, by the governor. Now, if you go to section 14(3) of the 1999 Constitution, it says that you, the governor, you, the president, whoever has the power to appoint any commissioner or ministers, you have to take it to cognizance, the spread, the geographical spread in the state. For instance, in River State, we have the Ikweres, we have the Ogonis, we have the Calabaris, etc., Eches, we have the Eches. So if you want to appoint commissioners...
So you mentioned all these people now, you forgot my own people. Shebi the Indoki people were not part of the River State, Abi.
And he didn't mention my own people.
And he did not mention your own people, Barisekine. Go ahead, please, sir.
Well, I didn't get that question very clearly, but...
So I was saying that you mentioned all these people in River State and you forgot my very own Ndoki people. And you also didn't mention the people for Barisekine, where he comes from.
Yes. I think Barisekine is from Ahoda Axis.
Would that be correct, Barisekine?
Yes.
Would that be correct?
Yes, I think it's from Ahoda Axis.
Okay, Ogbogolo. All right, go ahead, sir.
So Ogbogolo, okay, I think it's from that. So you have to put the spread.
Okay.
That is under section 14(3).
Okay.
You spread it on what they call federal character. You understand?
I mean that's also obtainable in the national level. So it's about the same thing.
It's the same thing, yes. National state.
Yes. Please.
So the governor has the right to appoint. He can even fire them. The governor can fire any of the appointees or the commissioners. And also the commissioners appointed who are already working can also resign. And it is that particular right of resignation that they had to apply, and they resigned from the government. So there's nothing new there, But if you want to look at why and the main reason I feel they left, I have advised them before that I didn't even know that these 5 of them were still remaining in the government of Sim Fubara in River State. Integrity, and kind of, I don't know how I put it now. If you have integrity, I thought they would have resigned alongside those first people that resigned. Even when they came back and the governor accepted them, I was against it. I said, no, we have to be, very upright and forthright in our dealings, based on integrity. If I were one of them, I'll say, no, Mr. Governor, thank you. I am not coming back to your cabinet because, my own personal views and whatever politics here will not all go well with you and what is going on. So I resign based on principles, and I will not go back. So if they have resigned now, I think they have done the right thing, so that the governor can, work very well with people that he choose. You cannot work. The Bible says, can two work if they don't agree? I don't think it's going to be possible to work with people you don't agree with in your cabinet. So I encourage them to go and follow into their endeavors, their various endeavors in life. And I think there's nothing wrong in that.
Right. So I'm coming to you now, Barisekine. I wonder you to if you could give a background to why these commissioners may have been aggrieved, and why are they even loyal to, not to the person whose cabinet they are working under. Do you have any idea? Let's pretend like we don't know anything. So please lecture us.
Precious, you see, that's why it's been really an unfortunate situation in River State.
Okay.
But I think I need to lay the constitutional foundation first. Section 192 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria vests an absolute power on the governor of a state to appoint, or rather, the number of commissioners he desires in the state into his cabinet. While the Constitution established the office of commissioners but it is the discretion of the governor to determine how many commissioners and who those commissioners would be. And that's why Section 193 is even to the effect that it's the commissioner that will assign responsibilities to them after their appointments pursuant to Section 192. So that's the foundation to the existence of any commissioner in any state, the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, it means that for anyone to be a commissioner or to serve in the cabinet of any governor, it's got to be appointed by the governor, however, subject to confirmation by the State House of Assembly. But upon that confirmation, it is only the governor that will assign responsibility. So if the governor doesn't assign any responsibility to you, you remain a commissioner.
Are you saying Governor Siminalayi Fubara did not assign responsibility in this case to them?
He did. I'm only laying the constitutional foundation. Okay. And of course, let us even recall that at the time Governor Fubara was sworn in on the 29th of May, 2023, soon thereafter, he constituted his cabinet. And we saw that amongst the commissioners he appointed, virtually all of them except one served in the cabinet of the former governor, the immediate past governor, and current minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Which is a novel idea in Rivers State. I've not seen where that kind of thing happened in Rivers State before. You could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, of course. That's why you asked. What could be the foundation to all of these crises, particularly with the resignation and re-resignation,
exactly,
or appointment and reappointment.
Yes, please.
So for those who are listening, then this got to the point where, of course, meaning that the governor accepted them, made the appointments, and then gave them responsibilities. They were all given assigned responsibilities.
So that is to say that he shouldered the former, his predecessors, cabinet members. He shouldered them. He inherited all of them, but just one.
Oh wow! Just one. That's information.
Oh wow! Yes. Okay.
I know Inime, I know Madango, I know all of them were cabinet members of the...
So he inherited the assets and liability of the past administration, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now, when the government stayed on, just after a few months, they had their rather avoidable, unnecessary, and orchestrated crisis, and I maintain that. So then it led to their willing... In fact, at some point, they were not... in any way compelled to resign. They resigned willingly and without prompting. So, but whatever happened in Abuja, which I questioned the Abuja imposition, led to their re-nomination and reconfirmation and reappointment. And some of them were given responsibility. I think virtually all of them, again, given responsibilities again. But their resignation is second time, is like a second missionary journey. It's their discretion.
Okay, so...
Also say on the background of the law, it is the discretion of a member of cabinet to continue to serve in the cabinet or to withdraw. So it's their will, it's their discretion. They've committed no offense.
Okay.
All the governor will do is to appoint replacement commissioners, really.
Okay, so the governor has been quoted saying that people do not know what he's going through, that he's working with people who are sabotaging his government. I'm sure you've been privy to that video where he said that.
Yes.
Do you think these commissioners may be culpable as to that allegation? Maybe that's why they had to resign?
Precious. Apparently so, because I recall that when some of them resigned the first time, they actually even didn't hide their intention. They said they resigned because their conscience was such that their loyalty was somewhere. I recall at least one or two of them made those... kind of reasons for their resignation. Then, of course, when they came back, and then we found that indeed it was until the redeployment of the former commissioner for special duties. That's I mean, Professor Adango. Let it be on note that Professor Adango, a senior advocate of Nigeria, was one time Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, and then became the commissioner for special duties in the office of the governor, from where he resigned. So after the resignation, that the governor actually made this revelation that some of the commissioners had actually sabotaged the efforts of government and have really not been loyal. But let me say again, every aide to a governor, same to the president, whether it's a special advisor, a commissioner, or a minister, is actually carrying out the duties and responsibilities of the governor or the president. Because all of the executive functions are to be carried out, or if you like, implemented by the governor, because he is the head of the executive.
Okay. So Barrister Sim, now I'll come back to you very quickly. I think Barrister Kine's network is beginning to. He's on transit. So Barrister Sim, now Barrister Governor Sim had been quoted saying that giving order for the 8 years of his predecessor to be probed. A lot of people had issues with that, especially considering that he was the Accountant General of Wike in that tenure. First off, do you see that going on successfully? Do you see Sim pulling of that through?
Of course.
So I'm coming back to you, Barrister Kine. I'm on Barrister Asimi with this, please. Asim with this. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good. Yes, you see, under our laws, the governor has the right. The governor of any state has the right to set up a judicial panel of inquiry. Under the inquiries, laws that we have, the various states in Nigeria, Section 1, I think Section 5 also gives the governor of every state the power to set up a judicial panel of inquiry. What you call it, can call it pro panel or any panel at all. The law gives the backing to the governor to do that. Now, the problem we are having, with the panel of inquiries is that most of the panels of inquiries have been set up, or judicial panels have been set up. Their white paper whatever goes nowhere, because some people claim that either the members are biased, because it is the governor that will select those that will be members of that particular, judicial panel of inquiry. For instance, during the Amechi time, Amechi Rotimi set up a judicial panel of inquiry to probe, his predecessor, Ordili, Napito Ordili. Where did that panel, where did the white paper go to today? Then when Amechi also came to power, he did all these things. Wike came to power. Yes, Wike came to power. He set up a judicial panel of inquiry on Amechi to probe Amechi, the past government, as at that time. It was probed, and Amechi now ran, to court, to stop the process. He did not even attend the panel of inquiry. He did not even attend the judicial panel of inquiry. So these are the inhibitions. These are the encumbrances, that such judicial panels do have in Nigeria. So what we are saying, yes, the governor, you have the right to do this. But the problem we are having is this. Are you sure that this your judicial panel of inquiry, will be impartial? Even if they are impartial, are you sure that those who have been invited or indicted by that white paper, can be prosecuted successfully? That is where the problem is. And you see, the Supreme Court has even said in the Amechi case in 2022, that a panel of inquiry is just a fact-finding, inquiry. It has no adjudicatory role or a role to convict and send somebody to prison. So whatever white paper that comes out is going to be adversarial to the government of the day. And maybe they can recommend to EFCC or ICPC to now prosecute those people, legally speaking, under our laws. So these are the questions we are asking. At this point in time, yes, the government, you have the right to do that. But is it proper? Is it timeless enough for you to bring it at this point in time where you are having political, differences with your predecessor? So we feel that it is colored and it's going to be, an exercise in vendetta and vindictiveness, as the case may be, because there are heightened tension in River State right now because of that, what he has mentioned. For instance, let me give for an example. How can the governor begin to say that there are rats eating Gary? There are rats.
I was going to mention that rat issue. I was taking it one step at a time. You just took my presentation away from me, but it's fine. I was headed. It's okay. It's fine. I was headed to that direction. I had that question in mind, but it's okay now that you mentioned it. Go ahead. Please.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah. So when the governor comes on the podium, when he was commissioning a road project, and he starts saying they have discovered the rats, I don't understand. That I'm sorry if I use this word, I say local, whatever they say, foul yash don't open. What does that mean? I think that with those words alone, it gives me goose pimples to the extent that probe or judicial panel or probe panel will not be fair. And at the end of the day, the person that directing this act is the emeritus governor Yeso Wike. And I believe that is the reason why we feel it is colored. Even though the governor has the right. But we also have the right to say, well, Mr. Governor, you have the right to do this. But we feel that you are doing this targeted at somebody. To denigrate somebody, bring him down. In the Nigerian syndrome, they say, pull him down syndrome. You want to kill this man politically and bury him. That is the essence of all these things. That is the only way they have. But whether the governor has the right or not, he has. But the governor has to look at it. From 1999, Amechi set up a judicial panel of inquiry. Where did he head the state to? Then he look at in 2015. He set up an inquiry also on Amechi. Where did he take the state to? And you are going on the same voyage again, the third time. Where is he going to take this state to? That is what the question we are asking, the governor, so that it does not exacerbate what's already on ground, as the case may be politically speaking.
All right, sir. So Barrister Kina, I see that you've been itching to respond to this. I'd like you to respond very quickly because I have more questions for you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, to respond on this particular matter?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Did you hear everything Barrister Sim said?
I heard.
All right, go ahead, please.
The Commission of Inquiry Law of the University has no provision with respect to the time of constituting any Commission of Inquiry when it did arise.
So do you think that this is barely based on vendetta, like Barrister Sim noted?
Mr. Governor has the right to decide at what time he needs to constitute the commission for any purpose. And I think my friend would agree. The Rivers State Commission of Inquiry Law empowers any governor. It's not just for simple, any governor at any time that he thinks he needs to find out some facts. I am happy that he said it's a fact-finding inquiry. The word inquiry means to investigate, to find out some facts. And does he have the powers to do so? Yes, he does have. Is it necessary to do so? Yes, it's necessary. Does it in any way conclude any vindictiveness? No, except anybody who is concerned.
Oh, wow.
I don't see it that way. I am not saying that it's not possible. But for as long as we exist at its state, and it's not a private enterprise, the university is not a private enterprise. Do you know what? One thing, Precious, it is unfortunate that we do not even have an opportunity to have account of stewardship to the people periodically. So if a governor is elected and from the first year until the second, until the third, until the fourth, and you don't even give an account to your employers, a governor is an employee. Each day I resume work in my office with my small side of office and have my secretary, I have a colleague in the office, I would always say a junior. We review our activities on the previous day. Most law firms do that, especially every Monday. So we don't have that because they are politicians. 1 year, 2 years, they're just expending our money. You're just exercising your discretion to think that what you're fixing is our need. You don't even consult us. Can I tell you one thing, Precious?
Please go ahead.
Someone in one of the Scandinavian countries, in Nigeria, she came back and then we were having a program something, and then she was telling us that when she was in the country, and then it was as if it was an election, but as she recalled that they just had an election where they elected about 3 vice presidents and the president. So she asked around, what are you people coordinating and then arranging as if they're going to have an election just so soon? They said no, that they are going to conduct some kind of a referendum to determine whether a certain roads that the government wants to construct should even be constructed. The people have to participate in that decision. And our constitution also guarantees us the right to participate in governance, in the affairs that affect us.
But that is not exactly the case here.
It doesn't happen here. So you are a governor 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We are expending our money, deciding what should be in the budget. Our budget is not people's participatory. So is it not wise that at the end of some period, maybe every year, take an account of stewardship, but it don't? So if we now have an administration that says, look, for 8 years we had an administration, let us review what happened during the 8 years. And people begin to make suspicions, so it's vendetta, the time is...
But the question is the timing. The question, like Barrister Sim asked, is the timing. The timing. Why now that there is a rift? Why now that there is a rift?
There is no rift anywhere. There is no... You know what, Precious? Let me ask you, we talk about rift here now. It's not when we want to create crises that don't exist. Can there possibly be a rift in terms of governance and performance of the office, of the functions of the office of the governor, between a governor and a minister? There cannot be. The minister has his job clearly cut out as the minister of the FCT. It's answerable to Mr. President. When you have an elected executive governor, the constitution has the office of the governor different from the office of the minister. It has the constitutional functions of the office of the governor different from that of the minister. So why can't they ever have a risk? If they have a problem in their bedroom, it shouldn't be my concern. But if it is about government, then they don't have to have any issue. There is no way.
So do you think that Sim is biting the fingers that fed him? Because he was the accountant general of Wiki, and most of the expenses that the pastor, former governor, made were, went through his signature or signatory, as it were.
Excellent. Precious.
Sir?
Does that what it suggest?
So do you
suggest that somebody who is saying, I present myself to be reviewed, isn't that better? Meaning that the person, even the person who is saying, I was in that administration, but I want that our administration to be reviewed, meaning that including his office. Perhaps it's also saying that examine and even review or inquire into my performance as accountant general. That is what we should be looking at. That the commission of inquiry should be dispassionate and objective to also inquire into the activities of the former accountant general. So that when it is culpable, they just keep the file. When he leaves office, they dust it and prosecute him. Assuming I serve as a commissioner, and then I now think that, look, I give myself up, I open up, and I become a governor. So look, investigate or inquire into the administration I serve, even as commissioner for sports or for use as the case may be. Meaning that I'm saying my hands are clean, and supposedly, or to say, open the books about my ministry, open the books about the office of the accountant general. That's what they mean. He's not going to exempt his result. Okay,
so just very quickly. Okay, because of time, do you think that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is ungrateful and especially for calling former Governor Wike a rat, or insinuating that he's a rat by the statement he made? Please, but do you think it's correct? Let me quickly, for those who do not know what that video is about, let me quickly play it to Nigerians so they get to hear exactly how he said that. Take a listen.
We're fighting federal government is a different matter. We're talking about federal government that is giving us support, but the rat in the house that is eating the bag of garri. So you can imagine. But the rat in the house that is eating the bag of garri. So you can imagine such situation. But we have already said the Otapia who has finished.
Did you hear that, Barrister Ekine? That he sent Otapia rat poison to finish the rat in the house that is eating a full bag of garri?
I've heard that even before this soundbite.
Okay. So do you think that's a decent thing to say about someone who made you a governor?
No, don't talk about making.
Remember, he made him because Wike says that he's been apologizing to people. Former Governor Wike has been apologizing to people for forcing him on them. He said that. You're here, sir. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. I could barely hear what my own very good brother and colleague was talking about.
Okay.
But when you now a governor in the guise of the presidential system we run and a constitutional democracy where elections were conducted, that a governor was made by an individual, as if the elections didn't hold. And you're telling us that you wrote the results for that individual. But we're talking about a governor in any of the states, not just Rivers State, that was elected during the general election by the people. Yes, you may have the political.
So you're saying that you're saying that former Governor Wike's assertion that he made him governor is wrong.
He couldn't have made him. He couldn't have made him, but he supported him. Yeah, he supported him. He funded him. He sponsored him, but he couldn't have made him single-handedly.
Oh, you do know that he sponsored him, right?
Yes, I said so. I said political parties sponsor candidates. In fact, one of the qualifications to run an election in Nigeria is to be sponsored by a political party.
Okay. So
collectively or by an individual. And it will only have individual sponsorship.
Okay. All right. So let me quickly let Barrister Sim respond to that, and then we have our parting shots. Barrister Sim.
Yeah, let me say with due respect to my brother and my colleague Ekine, when you say and you agree that a man, Governor Yeso Wike, sponsored Sim Fubara, he bought forms for them, he spent campaign money, this as case may be. Is Yeso Wike a political party? Or was Yeso Wike PDP that can sponsor somebody? That is the question I want to ask. Why I'm saying that Sim Fubara was ungrateful or is ungrateful is because Yeso Wike was not a political party. Yeso Wike was a sponsor, but he was an individual sponsor. And the party left everything for Yeso Wike to do. Now, why are you paying him back and you are not claiming the glory? Politically speaking,
but Mr. Sim, a lot of people have had issues with that. Did he make that sponsorship with his personal fund or from state's fund in his capacity as a governor? Who's in charge of the state's resources?
Nobody can say that except an investigation team or maybe FCC or any other body at all. Whether he used his personal money or he used state funds, it's not within
so
my
if he used the state funds, is it also right to also revere him for using state fund to do such a thing?
I don't know.
Is that even legal? Is that even legal to use state funds to support party members?
You cannot say that he used state funds.
Okay.
You did not investigate him to find out whether he used state funds to sponsor him.
Okay.
That is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
So maybe he borrowed money from banks to sponsor him. You never know. So until a probe is set up to find out how did he get the money to sponsor Sim Fubara, that is where we'll now be to indict him and say, yes, he used state funds or whatever funds as the case may be. But even at that, even if he uses state funds to not sponsor him, in law, he seemed not an accessory before the fact and after the fact, knowing that the governor at that time had to put his fingers into state money to sponsor you to now become governor of a state. And you never, based on integrity, say, no, Mr. Governor, don't sponsor me with state money, please. Let me look for money to sponsor myself. You looked on. You were happy with the governor. You did everything that he asked you to do. You knew that he was using state fund. Assuming I concede that he was using state fund, you never question him, okay, where do you get this money to sponsor me? That is the character of the average Nigerian and politician. They don't care. If you like, go to Okija Shrine to go and get money to sponsor me and let me become governor. They don't care. So integrity and forthrightness and malfeasance is encouraged in this particular situation that I found out.
So are you saying that Barry? Are you saying that Governor Sim may be complicit if Wike is seen as has committed a crime?
He is complicit by conduct. He is complicit by conduct because in law there's what called assessing before the fact and assessing after the fact.
Okay.
If I send you to go and rob somebody, to rob him to get money, to sponsor you for an election, and you and you go for that particular mission to go and rob that person, will you come back and say I'm the one that sent you and I don't have anything to say on this? I don't think so. So this is the situation. You see, this double standard has to stop in Nigeria politics and politicking. You know, see, Fubara is claiming to be a saint today, but we know that it was Wike that brought him to limelight as it is. Otherwise, it would have been a grade level 14 officer in the civil service. And it's not grateful. I am not supporting that Godfather should exist. If there is no Godson, you can never have a Godfather. So it is the Godsons that will look for Godfathers to sponsor them in the election in Nigeria here. And it's very bad if we begin to encourage such, like what Sim has done. He's not playing the saint. I am the good boy, and Yeso Wike is the devil. That is the problem we are having. Can Yeso Wike embezzle money without you saying knowing? Why did you not raise alarm, as the case may be? We have seen situations all over the world where people who watch where government money is being used don't raise alarm and say, I will not allow this to happen during my term. Why did Sim Fubara not do so based on integrity and forthrightness? It means he was complicit. Indirectly or directly, by conduct he was. Look at what has happened. I pity Yeso Wike because in the Nigerian palace we know that godfathers are everywhere. But I said before that if there's no godson, there will be no godfather. And why will you not come out and begin to play claim? Whereas we participated in the same yes, we participated in the same crime, and you are not using laws and popularity to not extricate yourself from it. It's a cobweb that they found themselves and Sim. Even if the law exonerates him, you know, by conduct And by moral standard, he has disappointed me, disappointed a lot of people in Nigeria and Rivers State, as the case may be.
All right.
We should kill this kind of conduct as people do things. You don't begin to behave like that and begin to play good, when things go against you and use people's popularity to rise up to that occasion. It is something I will not tolerate.
All right. But Barrister Sim, please help me be on the line. It's time for me to open the phone lines and let Nigerians into the conversation. They've been itching to jump in on the conversation, and I'm sure they will have a couple of questions to also ask you. So kindly be on the line. Lagos, phone lines are open. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. I'll never even call number finish. People are already calling. I would prefer you call me on WhatsApp today so that we can have quite an extensive conversation, because I'm already on call with Barrister Sim. So it's 0817 175 6338. That is the WhatsApp number, and you can call that WhatsApp line. 0817 175 6338. That's the number to call. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Precious.
Yes, good evening and welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Austin from Egbeda, Lagos State. Please, I want to comment on the last, your guest that just spoke now. It had happened. But this problem is caused by Wike. Had it been not went alliance with APC and remain as a PDP stronghold in Port Harcourt, all this nonsense will not be coming out. That is the cause. Wike is the cause of the problem in Rivers State. Bet me or not. Hello?
Barrister Sim, are you there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you crystal clear, please. I don't know if you heard what the caller said. He alluded.
I can barely hear you now.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening.
Hello?
Today cannot be the day for me to have network issues. Can
Hello?
you hear me? I can hear you crystal clear. Oh dear, apologies. Okay, perhaps I'll try to call you back again. All right, let's just get back to those calls as much as we can, and then we can quickly get to his reaction on some of these conversations. All right, phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903 0817 175 6338 0817 175 6338. That is the number to call. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Yes, good evening.
Hello, question.
Sir?
Good evening. This Mr. Tony. Please, I disagree with your last speaker, the lawyer you call, I don't know the way they are, because this is why we say our judicial, our lawyers they are just deceiving the younger ones, and which is very wrong. Look at what he's saying. We can first, let's start from what he's saying about Wike and whatever. Wike sponsored this one, sponsored this one. Wike, his father has his face. Wike, what family did he come out from? I think you know the history of Wike River State. Now Wike use the River State money to sponsor. He said he sponsor, as he said. It's River State money that he used. It's not his personal money. Why make him to be so this arrogant in River State? Let me use that language. Because the lawyer that is saying now, if his son or whoever did this thing Wike is doing now, so tomorrow he will clap for his son that is doing well. Because he sponsored somebody with state money.
All right.
Who is Wike before?
Thank you.
If not because of people and Amechi, who know Wike before Jonathan took over.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's how you have to start from somewhere.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
somebody
it.
made him what he is in River State when he was chairman in Odiabo local government park. He's somebody that brings him to make him what he is today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
I
of us,
appreciate
at
it.
least if the lawyer
Thank you.
he's just speaking grammar because
Thank you. You've made your point, so we can talk to someone else who don't have all the time. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening to you.
Hi, Precious.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, this is Remy.
Remy, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of your guests, the one who is for Wike.
How did you come to the conclusion that one is for and one is against?
From what his utterances now, all he said so far, he's so pained that Fubara is treating Wike that way. Tell me one unpredictable names Wike never used on Amechi, because now he's pained that Fubara is doing the same thing to Wike. We also what Wike did in the last 8 years. There was no name he didn't call his opposition. There was no name, no unpredictable names. He went for that by even pulling down some businesses because they were his opposition. We saw what Wike did now. I felt what should be the bane of his concern should be the people of Rivers State, not Wike's personality or Fubara. the investigation should go on. As long as Wike is not guilty, why should he be bothered? His concern should be, was Wike guilty of the accusation so far? Fubara was the accountant general.
Oh dear, apologies, I lost you there. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Precious.
Yes, welcome.
Good evening.
Sir, welcome. Thank you.
This is the Nigerian calling from Oshodi.
You're welcome. Go straight on to your contribution.
Barrister Sim, I see the weekly realist. That's why
his name is Barrister Asim Adam. Asim Adam.
He is weekly realist. And what I have to say, I don't want to go for a good time, is that Wike is wrong, and this Barrister Sim or whoever who is the Wike, they are the problem of this. People who will say truth and they will take it. I just want to use a state money to sponsor people and invest that person.
But he clearly mentioned that there hasn't been an investigation to that fact.
The problem of this country. The problem of this country is not taking truth.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right, my phone lines are heated up. I do hope that I can reconnect with Barrister Asim and Barrister Ikene again very quickly so I can have them come into the conversation. I think I have Barrister Asim back. Hello, Barrister Asim. Barrister Adams, can you hear me? Okay, so well, you missed a lot of things, questions most of my callers, yes, asked. A few of them said that, some of them did say that former Governor Nyesom Wike is the real problem of what's going on in Rivers State. And some others said that,
Hello?
he did. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, so some of them are saying that Barrister Nyesom Wike is the problem that Rivers State is the reason for the problem that Rivers State is going through. And some are saying that, he did worse than Sim is about to do to him, to Amechi, who was supposed to be his political godfather. That's what they said. I didn't say so, because I don't think Wike believes that Amechi is his political godfather, right? And some of them are saying that, well, for you to support what Wike is doing, that it's wrong, because how can you support someone using state fund to sponsor others? And some said that, who was his father? What is his source of wealth? What did he do to rise to? What was the source of wealth? How did he raise money enough to sponsor everyone?
Yes, those are secondary questions in my opinion. Like I stated, there is nobody that can stand up to say that Governor Wike spent Rivers State government money, to sponsor Sim Fubara, until the proper setup, unravels this. And until and unless that is done, it's an allegation, or the allegations, as the case may be. Secondly is this. Let me tell you that Nyesom Wike, before he became governor, was such a poor man. I want to tell you with due respect, he was council chairman of one of the biggest local government, areas of.
So how about before becoming a council chairman, before joining politics, who was he? What is his source of wealth? That's the question people are asking.
He is a lawyer.
How long did he practice?
He practiced law in Rivers State.
For how long?
Hello?
For how long, sir? Nigerians may want to know.
It doesn't matter whether I practice for 10 years or 10 decades.
Because, everyone does have a source of wealth now. Dangote will tell you how he raised his money.
Source of wealth come in different ways.
Oh, wow.
My own father might be a good farmer that is not known to you. He has so much money locally, as the case may be. I have friends who want to support me, who want to contribute money to sponsor me to become governor. I have friends also who wants to come into my life to sponsor somebody whom I feel is going to win the election in the state. So these are different sources of wealth. So it does not mean that you must still state money before you can sponsor anybody, as the case may be. Things are not done that way.
So you do not believe, bottom line is, you do not believe that Wike is one of the reason, or the major reason why there is crisis in Rivers State?
It is not true.
Do you also believe that he did same? Do you believe that he did what Sim is doing to him now to Amechi?
Excuse me, Precious.
Okay, sir.
In this River State, a governor shut down courts. A governor, let me call his name, Amechi, shut down the judiciary for 1 year plus. What was that? When they resumed sitting again, the governor mobilized thugs to invade the court premises because the judgment was to be given against him, or supposedly threat that judgment will not go his way. They invaded the Rivers State High Court, where they had to, drive lawyers out of the court I was in court that particular day. So why will you ascribe the crisis in Rivers State since it was created to Nyesom Wike alone? Why did Amechi lock courts? Amechi shut down the local government, local government, for close to 6 months in this state. What are we talking about? So please, let's be fair and cut some slack for Nyesom Wike. I am not saying that he's perfect in all ways. He's a human being. We all have one or two, mistakes that we have made in life. We also have some inadequacies we have in our various life and living. So let us not channel and give the whole problems to Nyesom Wike as this may be.
Thank you.
That is my take on this, please.
Thank you. Please be on the line, because perhaps I'll call you back, because our callers would like to ask you more questions. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, hello, Precious. Good evening. Hello?
This is Tony Chukwudi from UK, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Precious, the lawyer, barrister, Asim, something. Yeah. I'm sure his point, he's making a kind of a legal point from the legal point of view, like somebody that is already in the court. But I wanted to ask him a question. If he's hearing me, when people are trying to compare somebody with the Wike, I'm sure if there is anything that the current governor is doing, I'm sure that the current governor learned it from Wike. Precious, you cannot tell me that the barrister, in as much as I can understand the area, the angle that is going, when you have an agreement or when you spawn, somebody has to pay that back. But don't forget the statement that Wike gave an interview where they asked Wike, that Fubara said that you wanted the River State money a certain percentage, and Wike said, is there anything wrong in that? So Wike can open his mouth and claim the money that is not his. And the barrister cannot even say anything on that. And coming to the way, when you know Wike the last year before he left office, you can see so many videos where he is insulting even the traditional rulers. He talks to people anyhow. Is that the way? Hello?
I don't know if you are true, sir.
Yeah, he's responding to you. Thank you, Tony Chukwudi. Go ahead, sir.
Can I respond, please?
Go ahead, respond to him, sir.
What I'm saying, in this country, we had a president. I don't want to call his name. He flattened two communities, Zakibiam and Odi. We had a president who removed the PDP chairman, going to his house to eat Padedian, and the next minute, he came and said, you are no longer the chairman of PDP. You had presidents and governors who have acted with impunity. I am not encouraging impunity in any form, but we should not say that the poor bearer of impunity in Nigeria is Nyesom Wike. It's not true. That is my take here.
All right.
I am not in support for Wike to insult traditional rulers. In fact, if you followed on my page on that time this thing happened, I criticized Wike and I got some slack for him. Then I criticized the royal fathers who came to visit him or who came to that occasion and sat down when they were insulting one of their own colleagues. I couldn't have taken that. So I am not saying that Wike is a perfect man. We have governors who have done worse things than Wike. In Rivers State, for instance, Rivers State is a state where a particular governor was alleged to have embezzled billions of naira of state funds. Instead of coming before the parliament to defend himself, he went to court to procure today what is perpetual injunction. A lot of fluff, even lawyers. I am telling you that even the senior advocates, I don't know how many times they have been able to get perpetual injunction in restraining, EFCC or anybody from probing them. Is that not the governor of Rivers State that did this? Why are we not profiling him? Why Wike every time? This is the problem I have.
All right, thank you.
See, the narrative must stop. Even if Wike had those impunity to do whatever he was doing, does that give him the same right to begin to rain impunity on Nigerians? I don't think so. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Thank you so much.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Thank you. Let's go back to the phone lines now. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get back to Barry Sekine, but he's on transit and, Nigeria happened. His network disappeared, so we can't get through to him. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Are you there? Sir?
Good evening, Precious.
Good evening. Welcome. Go ahead, please. This is Joval.
Yes, Jova.
Okay, go ahead.
Barrister Simi, I hope you can hear me. Good evening.
I do hope he can hear you because he's just left the call. But just go ahead. I'll narrate. I'll relay your question to him.
I want to bring to his notice that we are listening to him. He is sounding subjective instead of being objective, because Remy made a call and said he's.
Oh dear. You have to do something about that, your village people that is in that place. So let me quickly run through some messages because I have quite a number of messages to go through this evening. All right. Okay. This here says, I don't know why should Bishop Matthew... Okay, no, I don't think this is for me. I do not think this is for me. I go straight to this. Since the president is cutting costs in every sector, let him also travel by road to cut his trip costs, to cut the cost of his trip, right? Kenechiko sent in that message. Okay, His Royal Highness BC Walker says, investing a whole 90 billion naira in the name of religious pilgrimage when the masses are crying over high cost of living in the country is a total waste of public resources. I don't see any gain going to all these religious pilgrimages other than to go there and answer JP and Alhaji. They don't contribute anything to the growth of the nation. Well, you said a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people may agree with you. Harry Ogada from Pangrove says, good evening, Precious. Help me sing this song for a week. I see they sweet them. Okay, I see they sweet you, Abby. Okay. Taiwo from Alta says, I think it's high time we changed this present government's name to Government of Taxation and Subsidy. Why borrow pensions money to fund infrastructure or to fund infrastructure projects? It's obvious that China and World Bank has refused to borrow them more money. The proposed pension money is to be used for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. It's not stated that way. This government should think outside the box. That's what you're saying. All right, quickly then. Good evening, Precious and the able guest. As for more of Fubara's commissioners loyal to Wike resignation, it's good riddance and it's a welcome development both to Fubara and the entire good people of River State. Let's see if the Baba inside the rock will force them. Oh wow, I didn't get that. Oh, apologies, please. I go back. Okay. Daya from Fagba says, if Wike can confidently say they will overturn the judgment of the court which removes the 27 lawmakers, it's because he has the formula of these people that will manipulate things using such. Well, you said a lot. Let me let that rest so I don't make an allegation that I can't prove. All right. Adeyemi Kamuru from Satellite Town says, why the Labour Party reserve its presidential ticket for Peter Obi in a democracy when they have not even had a presidential primary? Labour Party under Peter Obi and Abure is a totalitarian only suited for North Korea. They are poisonous to free and fair election. Oh, wow, really? Is that what you're saying? All right. I think I have Barrister Sim joining me back now. All right. Hello, good evening, Barrister Sim. Are you back there?
Yes, I'm back. I'm having serious network issues with my...
Apologies.
Yes, that's why I keep calling, yes.
The network has been abysmally low. Well, let me quickly take a few calls so that I can let you react to all of them at once.
All right.
If you're still there. Thank you. Hello, good evening. All right. That call is difficult to pick. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, are you there? Oh, dear. Okay. Hello, good evening. Yes. Good evening,
Precious.
Yes, good evening, sir. Welcome.
How are you doing, Precious?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. Welcome.
Great.
Okay, from Denmark, right? Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
I am very surprised about the way the barrister is sounded. You see, in this...
Oh dear, my apologies. The network has been really something else today. But let me just quickly run through those messages because I have too many of them to read, so I don't disenfranchise those that would want to send in their messages. All right. Ola says, hi, Precious. Let the lawyer say something about 30% Wiki Axel from the state allocation. Barrister Sim, can you hear that? They said Wiki asked for 30% from state allocation. You should say something about it. Let me quickly read some more so that you can respond to all of them or react to all of them at a time.
All right.
Okay. Fubara must learn from the experience of others and maintain a healthy distance, ensuring that his administration is guided by the people's interest, not Wiki's whims, perhaps not caprices. Wiki support, though significant, does not warrant Fubara's absolute loyalty or servitude. The people of the state elected Fubara to lead, not to serve as Wiki's protege. Fubara's primary allegiance must be to the citizens, not to any individual, no matter how influential that individual is. Let us promote a culture of political maturity where leaders are held accountable for their actions and their loyalty remains with the people that put them in power. He did say quite a lot. Precious, please tell the barrister that Wike is the cause of the crisis in Rivers. Tell your guests that Wike said he sponsored tickets from sponsors, local government chairman and legislator, House of Assembly and governors. Bible says, whatever a man sows, he shall reap, reaping what he sowed. Oh, wow. Really? Precious, tell the same that he's one of the enemies of Nigeria. Barrister Sim, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So you've heard all the allegation against you. One of which they say you're one of the problems of Nigeria and enemies of Nigeria. Okay, let's have you react to this very quickly, sir, so that I can let you go.
I'm not an enemy of Nigeria. I am not one of the enemies of Nigeria. And the 30%, money that allegedly Sim said Wike was asking for, he has not given us any proof as to that. Whether Wike asked to give it 30% or 10%.
But Wike did not exactly. But Wike, in his statement, in his reaction to that conversation, he didn't exactly deny that. He did say that.
No, wait,
and if he asked what happens,
true,
okay.
If it is even true,
okay, that
was what happened, why will Sim sit down and agree with a man to say that he will give 30% of state resources, to him? Is it possible? So these kind of things are what to question. The question is for the two of them. Like that man that came in said, I am not supporting Wike in whatever he has done. But what I'm saying is that the two of them are complicit. It's just like two robbers who agreed to go and rob, and one is not caught, and one has not pleaded and said, please forgive me my sins. I'm a born again, a Christian, so I don't want you to take it upon me. I made a mistake. Then you begin to vilify the other one that led the attack. Is it proper? It is not proper in my own opinion and view. People should, stop relying on rumors and allegations that have not been proven. That is just my take on this.
Okay.
That is my take on this.
Okay.
So I didn't get your other questions anyway. For me to answer them.
There were quite a lot. There were quite a lot of them. I think I've missed out on some of them already. But I appreciate it, Barrister Sim. Yes. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for obliging me. I do hope when I call you next time, you will also oblige me.
Absolutely. I hope we have better network next time.
I do hope that we really do have better network.
Yeah. God bless you.
God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless you too. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I think I have Barrister Ekine back. Barrister Ekine, a lot has happened while you were away. I wish I can narrate all that happened while you were away to you. Okay. But can you hear me, Barrister Ekine?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I said a lot happened while you were away. I wish I can respond to all that happened while you were away. But let me have you.
I felt that I was going to miss a whole lot.
You did miss a whole lot too. And I just let Barrister Asim go. I wish I didn't let him go, but then I just had to let him go. So there has been a lot of accusation that Barrister Asim is saying that if at all this probing is going to happen, that if anything is found, that means Fubara is also complicit in most of it, because there is no financial transaction that should go through that should go on without your approval as the accountant general. Right. And then he also did mention that if Fubara did know that perhaps Wike, took state's fund to sponsor all these politicians and he accepted it because he was involved, that also makes him complicit and tells the character of a person that he is. I mean, I'd like you to have your parting shot on this. A lot of people also did mention that, what's his Wike's source of wealth? Who was he before he became a local government chairman? Excellent. Right? And then Barrister Sim responded or reacted to that by saying that, Wike was a practicing lawyer. However, I did inquire for how long he practiced. Barrister Sim did not respond. I wish that he responded as to how long he, practiced to have garnered such wealth and all that. But maybe you will help us wrap up.
No, let me start off from, I really wouldn't ordinarily want to discuss personalities. But since these are issues of fact, yes, Wike didn't practice for any time long. That I know very well. I'm not sure that, I don't know when my colleague came to Port Harcourt, but I knew that he even started with Isi Okala, and then when he came back, I knew a bit about that. So let me not.
So that means he may not have practiced for up to 10 years to be able to gather enough wealth.
No. Practice as what? And he has not only
as a lawyer.
So how could you possibly practice under who was even Isi Okala at that time? He's been a millionaire in terms of the principal. Then I knew his firm. Then that's one. So, even before he became the local government chairman in Obiakpo, what was its work, apparently? So it is from local government, and since then, since 1999, as local government chairman, he hasn't continued in practice, and I'm not aware of any other thing he's done. But whatever is the source of wealth, if he can justify it anytime he's called upon, credit to him. But to put factual issues is not true. It's not about making money from practice. There is no, apparently, even apart from public office, that's one thing about the practice of law, even in the Port Harcourt jurisdiction. Only a few that may have made good money from practice. Otherwise, even those that are indigenous have held one political or one public office or the other. Like I mentioned the names. Whether you've been an attorney general or you've been one commissioner or the other, really, that would have probably got them in that big money. But let me not go much into that.
So this is more like politics being the greatest rise to wealth, right?
Sorry?
This is about politics being about the fastest rise to wealth.
Yes, that's the clear situation in Rivers State. That's why I worry as a true Rivers person that I wonder whether there is a true industrialist in Rivers State that we can say this person is a millionaire, and then that we can trace his wealth to any conceivable or identifiable business. There's none. Like you'll find anywhere. Perhaps even the ones that are indigenous in Rivers State, that we can say they are millionaires, they're probably elsewhere.
Okay.
If you talk about Tony Cole, he probably will require it. He's not quite a home person. In fact, they even criticized him when he was running the election. That
he wasn't quite homegrown. Yes.
Atedo Peter Side and the rest of them, Wigwe that just passed, and the rest of them that you could say are billionaires or millionaires as the case may be. Not those that are centered at home, most of whom we knew. Some of us even did campus politics with some of them at some point. When they got their first thing in politics, we knew. If today, for instance, you mentioned Dakuku adult that could be side as perhaps maybe a millionaire now. I was a student, activist at some point. So he became special advisor on student affairs to, I think, God delayed them and all of that.
Yes, and became a commissioner for works. Yes.
So where the millions? The same thing to Nyesom. The highest position he has held is the chief of staff to Governor Mechi before he
became Minister for State. He became Minister for State.
Yes, as after chief of staff to Amechi before he became minister.
So let's move on very quickly because we don't have time. Do you think that do you think that Wike is a reason is a major reason that there is crisis in Rivers State? That's what a lot of people are alleging.
Well, yeah, that's been the comments all around. But maybe personally, for me, why I make the argument that I would have talked less about Nyesom Wike is because if we are discussing the governor of a state and we are talking about the constitutional functions and powers of the governor of a state, there is no way it will conflict with any individual or any other political office holder, including a minister. But if we talk about maybe personal issues like they will say, oh, Nyesom Wike probably funded him. But if you funded him and he has become a governor, for those of us who didn't know how much you funded him and how you funded him, we are looking at the political and constitutional and legal issues. We are not looking at what promises and agreements people had in your bedrooms. So if they were having their quarrels in their bedrooms, then of course we wouldn't have been involved. And then if the quarrels even were not about state issues, we won't be involved. So you can't say maybe you sponsored a person and then you agreed in bedroom that he will pay you back. But we're talking about appointment of commissioner. Then you say you want to direct him to appoint. Then I will come and say, man, as a constitutional lawyer, that the man has the absolute power to appoint whoever he wants as a commissioner.
So just very quickly, where does this leave the people of Rivers State? All of this drama, the resignations and all of this, where does it leave the Rivers people?
The resignations don't leave us anywhere. It's even beautiful to the extent that where we have governance suffering because commissioners don't seem to be committed to their duties, then it is only good for the state for them to give way, so that if they allow the governor to breathe and then for Rivers people to have truly committed new members of cabinet, let us see how government will work. That's one. So if the state doesn't lose anything for any commissioner who serves in the government, it's just like in Nigeria, public officers don't resign. Otherwise, the big deal about the public officer resigning.
Okay, but this whole drama and quarrel and squabble, this whole squabble really, where does it leave the people of Rivers State?
We are fortunate that it didn't degenerate to the very worst situation. Otherwise, it affected in terms of governance. It will affect in terms of concentration of government officials. meaning that the people of Rivers State that expected improvement in their welfare seem not to have been fortunate to have that within the period. But we are fortunate that this happened early enough, in the sense that it's within 1 year. They haven't even celebrated a year yet. So if we sort these things out, then we probably will have some good luck. And again, perhaps also because the governor appears to be a little focused on administration. If we are completely distracted, we wouldn't have had even the projects he's commissioning at the moment. Without speaking for the government, we are fortunate that the way it was handled didn't degenerate to a real crisis situation where security would have been threatened. I think it has been managed in some form, but real development and governance has actually been on the low end. Then about being accomplished, yes, I would really say that if anybody points any finger at the Wike's administration, then every one of them will have something to give account of, including the present governor, who was the chief, if you like, the accountant general. Because I do know the process and procedure for disbursement and releases of funds. I've had an opportunity to be a special assistant to a commissioner. The commissioner wasn't the principal accounting officer in the ministry, he's the permanent secretary. So working at that time, I would always go to the permanent secretary to go to the Bureau of Public Procurement to get approvals for contracts that we have to award in that ministry. At some point, even when the budget committee was set, I was put in it. So I know that it means that for governor to give any approval to my commissioner at that time, when it comes from cabinet, I have opportunity to see the minutes of cabinet and the extracts. So you will see that he will still carry another file and go for approval. Therefore, to get the release, it goes to the accountant general and then to the commissioner for finance.
Okay, so very quickly, just while we wrap up, the impeachment threat by the 27 lawmakers, do you think it's possible? It's doable? And will it be constitutional if it happens?
With the latest development in Rivers State, it's no longer possible.
But Wike has said, Wike vowed that another court will counter what this court has judged. So
it is word. Precious. Thank God for me. I even like that the conversation at this time is when I've come back, so that we don't just have some arguments that won't make our points clear. Now, we have courts of concurrent jurisdiction by the hierarchy of courts in this country. And then with the fundamental principle of stare decisis, you cannot expect that a lower court, right, will make a decision that will be binding on a superior court or even courts of concurrent jurisdiction. We understand that it's the problem to have conflicting decisions anyways, but then every matter may be different in its own circumstance, especially when it comes to court. So the Federal High Court, the State High Court, they are courts of concurrent jurisdiction. I can tell you, Precious, that I was even in a court in the State High Court on one of these matters. And then the judge simply asked the defendants, who we are referring to Justice Omotoshaw's decision in the Federal High Court in Abuja. And the judge of High Court of Rivers, they say, so do you expect that because a judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja gave a decision on a matter, and then I'm seeing something that is different, the parties are different, the subject matter is not exactly the same, that I should not listen to it? Even if they are the same, I will listen to it. Then when I want to give my opinion, I say, look, I align with the opinion of my brother judge in Abuja. So you won't say because then it becomes an abuse of process. So if you look in all of this, I think we'll get to the point where I pray that this matter should get to the Superior Court, to the Court of Appeal, and even ultimately to the Supreme Court.
All right, thank you.
The issue as to whether anybody will be complicit and accomplice to all of these matters, yes. I think all officials of government, when the government of Nyesom Wike is held culpable for any misgiving, then of course they will be able to have to account to it.
Thank you so much, and I'm grateful that you had a journey mercy or a smooth trip on your journey. Thank you so much.
I've actually arrived home.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Barrister Akine. Thank you so much. All right, Barrister Henry Akine is a constitutional lawyer too, as well as Barrister Asim Adams, and they've done justice to this conversation. I appreciate you. Phone lines are still open. Let's see if we can take a few more calls, and then we'll go straight on to our step down conversation. Hello, good evening to you.
Precious, can you hear me?
Very quickly, please. Make it quick. Don't be dancing. Don't rigmarole. Just go straight to the point.
Precious,
yes.
I am not happy that Barrister Simi is not on this call again, because he said one thing, that apart from Commissioner for Justice, who doubles as what's it called? The other Commissioner for Justice, rather, which is constitutional. Every other appointment, Attorney General is not constitutional. So I wanted to ask, and that's why I was calling to Barrister Kimi actually dropped. The office of the Accountant General of the state, is it by appointment? Who appoints that person? If the governor is the one that appoints the Accountant General of the state, he that pays the piper will be taken to. In that case, when Simi Fubara was the Accountant General of the state, where some Wike, being the governor, had extreme power the way it is in Nigeria, he could call for fund, and there's no way that governor, then being the Accountant General of the state, would tell him no. It's not possible. And if today the table has turned and he's now the governor, and he wants to probe, as people are saying, because he was also, culpable in that matter, it doesn't mean, because the one who calls for the governor, Wike told us, everybody heard him when he said he bought all the forms in River State, all the offices from the governor down to the last person who would be in the State House of Assembly. So that is also to answer the question when you asked him that he did not answer. What was the real source of funds for Wike? He cannot tell me that because he has been the local government chairman, commissioner, and that minister, the governor, then he now made excessive money. No. Are you now saying that the easiest way to make money in Nigeria is by being a civil servant, by being somebody who is serving Nigeria? No, it doesn't make sense to me. And I hope he's hearing so that he can answer this question again.
Thank you. That will be another day because we don't have time anymore. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let me quickly run through my messages because, oh my God, they are so much. All right, where do I start from now? Ike from Isala says, you brought in some Wike's lawyer to your show today. Our problem in this country is not only politicians, but equally the educated ones among us. The reasons for acquiring knowledge and wisdom is to identify the difference, the problems facing the country or the people, and being able to solve it. But in the case of hungry barrister, no, now I'll let you call my guest a hungry barrister. That's not fair. That's very unfair to say to him, right? Okay, so let's quickly. Mayor from Ikoton says, Mayor Martins Duru, aka Mayor from Ikoton says, VOP crew, if Wike is claiming that he must control Fubara because he put him as governor, let me remind you, people, about Tinubu and Nadako. Nadako sponsored Tinubu to win 1999 election under AD, but at the end of the day, Tinubu disorganized AD, and he became Jagaban. Judge Jude. Okay, no, this is Precious at all. This is Precious, please. Okay, moving on. Good evening, Precious. Precious, lawyers are the ones smiling to the bank in this dispensation called democracy. You shouldn't expect true representation, as should be from most of the invitation on the invitation to speak. That's what you said. And then this here says, good evening, Precious. This Wike lawyer is very biased in his job as a lawyer. That's why we have Casey from heaven. Apologies, I'm not going to read that, right? Wike support, though significant, does not warrant Fubara's absolute loyalty or servitude. I think I've taken this your message before, so I appreciate you. Let's see if we can take some calls quickly. Unfortunately, they've eaten up our step down conversation time, so I'd have to bring back this step down tomorrow. And this step down is very important to me, very, very important. Unfortunately, we'll have to take it back to tomorrow. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
Yes.
God bless you for taking
welcome. Go ahead, please. Go ahead very quickly, please.
I'm calling from Abanoje because
thank you. Go ahead.
I don't have much to say than to praise you for bringing these two lawyers. That is balanced opinions. I'm so happy. In fact, if I know the type of wine that you take, I would have a bottle of wine. I don't have much to say, but in conclusion, what I have to say is that he who laughs last, laughs best. We will laugh best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. All well and good. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Oh dear. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Are you there? Hello. Hello, good evening. Are you there? Oh dear. All right. Unfortunately. All right. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening and welcome. Welcome.
Yeah,
Is what?
Do you hear me?
Oh dear.
Do you hear me?
Unfortunately. So let me run through to YouTube where I have quite a couple of reactions. Oh wow, there are so many. I wish I can go through all of them. Antonio Biora says, getting okay, greetings, Precious. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jeff Wike. Jeff says Wike brought Amechi down. So what is wrong with Fubara also doing same to him? Man of Precision says Wike was gifting money anyhow as an emperor. Man of Precision says Wike allow Fubara rule. You say no. You can intelligently play your godfatherism role, but you chose the other way. Okay, Madi P says we want freedom, sweet freedom. Kenna Ezekiel says please let's forget this Rivers matter. You would think that Wike should not have anyone in his side. We are not ready. And then Jeff says, I remember Wike giving 200 million naira to Lagos APC women. No, that was 300 million, brother. That's other 1 million. 100 million is a wholesome. So I was having this conversation with Prince Francis Chilaka yesterday. Just like the lawyer said that he'll be complicit. I was having this conversation and Prince Francis Chilaka had something different to say. That conversation is on Precious Enyi TV on YouTube. So if on YouTube, you may have to go check that out later on when you're free. Precious Enyi TV on YouTube. That's my social media, by the way. So you could just go look that up, So, well, let's see how this works out. I do know that perhaps before the end of this year, we'll see the end to this conversation. Or maybe in 2027, that's when we'll see the end of this. But who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Osadebe. I'm calling from Shasha.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Osadebe.
I am very, very disappointed at Wike and his image makers. He has mismanaged this thing, and it's like a circle, a wild wind in River State. What happened between them and Odili and Amechi and Wike is now repeating itself. I expected him to be very wise and face his Abuja business and leave these people alone. But he has misfired and this thing is getting at him. And the way Amana Fubara is going about it is even slow. By my reckoning, it's even slow. The first thing, all those so-called legislators that are occupying government houses that are not even legislators anymore by virtue of the fact that they have defected, should be made to quit. They should leave that place. He should start sponsoring people that will take over those places whenever INEC and Mahmoud decides to do the right thing. So for me, Wike should, backstep and, seek the face of God and ask people to intervene and quench this matter. Otherwise, this matter will consume him. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, Lagos. Okay. That's the size of our package. Thank you to everyone who has been part of the show. Apologies if I've not been able to read your message because it's so much. Prince from Milas, I see you. You say everything we can for Bara, these two people are not bigger than the country. Oh wow, every time, Abi. Sorry, no vex. My name is Precious Enyi. That's the size of our package. Enyi is spelled E-N-Y-I. In case you're wondering, it means friend, and I love to be your friend. Catch me across the social media platforms. On Instagram, I'm at Precious Enyi Official. Precious Enyi Official altogether. Facebook is at Precious Enyi, and of course Twitter is at Precious_Enyi, and YouTube is Precious Enyi TV, Precious ENYI TV on YouTube. I love you. I'll see you again tomorrow, God willing. Tomorrow is what? Thursday. Hopefully with Barrister Darlington. He's not feeling too well, but I do hope he gets better so he can join us tomorrow. I'll see you then. Have yourself an amazing evening. Good night.